What is going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another video. It's Derek back here again as always, and today I got some exciting news. Actually, you haven't seen any of this on my videos yet. You've seen a lot of my Duramax and other projects that we have going on, but we've actually had this truck for a few years now, and you haven't seen it because a lot of the videos I've been posting have been on other stuff because this particular project has been getting some paint done, and it is finally back at the garage here now, so we can start working on it and finishing out the build. This is definitely my favorite project we have at the house, though. It's more my style. It's not so like kind of perfectly painted where you got to worry about a lot of stuff. So yeah, here it is. It is the 1972 Chevy Cheyenne. It's the K20. So this is a 4x4, pretty much is like a 2500 of the time era. I might move, we got the 2500 here and then the Tahoe, so we might move these out of the way so I can kind of show you a little bit better. But yeah, this truck is BA. What we had done was, as you can see, this is the whole truck. My dad actually painted this about, I could not actually tell you, he's the guy to ask. I'm going to talk about this project with him too, because we're kind of building this whole thing together. But he had this thing for a long time, and his brother then took ownership of it, or it was his brothers that bought it or something like that, but they kind of just had a dual project with it. And this is actually my dad's paint job on it, like I said. But over the time, this stuff all looks cool. It looks, it's not perfect by any means, but it's got like that farm truck look, a little patina here and there. It's got like the look that I like, and it's got the cab lights, which are just sweet always. But the one thing was the cab, which is white, was in these little rails up here. It's kind of hard to tell, but there's kind of this little, if any of you C10 guys or pretty much any guys that got these old trucks kind of know about this, the water will sit here and it'll rust out this little metal here. So my dad's got a paint and body guy. That's kind of one thing that we don't do. So he fixed this whole thing and, fixed all the rust here, replaced the metal, and painted the cab white. And my dad was thinking, like, should we do stuff with the paint on the truck? But I love the way it looks here, so it's just cool. But this looked terrible. So this is fixed, but painting, since it's white, it doesn't really make the truck look like it's been like repainted or anything. But this needed to be done, and it really kind of gives a cool look because this is fresh, but this is all kind of rustic and just really mean looking. So as you can see, the cab's all painted and fresh now. We're gonna do a new window seal as well, which you can see here. But when we were installing it, I don't think we put enough. You're supposed to put soap with a rope. Pretty much what you do is when you try to install these seals, you put the seal on, you lean the window up against here, and you put the strings already routed around the seal, and then you're supposed to, like this, pull it, and it's supposed to pull the seal in all the way around. But you can see it started tearing, so we're gonna get a new seal and do it again, but lube it up a lot more this time so it like pulls a little more steady. So that should be done soon. So after the windows mounted and then we got the seat redone, this was kind of when it was sitting there getting the paint work done. So the seat was trashed. So seats redone. Again, not going too crazy, just little things that are like needed. So seat, we're going to do some dyno matting so it's a little quiet in here, which I didn't want to do personally, but my dad's like, you know what, dude? We might as well throw it in there. It's not that bad. It's not that expensive. And that way we can kind of put a radio in it and hear ourselves talk. Because the reason this thing is so loud is because of its heart that it has, which we'll show, which is obviously the best part of most projects, if they're cool enough. 454. Bored 100 over, so now it's a 510 cubic inch big block Chevy, and it lopes really hard. It cams hard. It sounds so good. I took the exhaust off once, and it sounded like I can't even explain it, a full dragster. It's insane. But like I said, I would start it up, but a lot of the coolant's not in here, oil, any of that. So right now we're kind of in a big stage where we're in the middle of replacing a lot of things because the truck sat for like 10 or 15 years. So like I said, it just needed a whole bunch of stuff. I wish I had a picture of all the old suspension parts. I just threw them away the other day. I don't know why I didn't video them. But shocks that have been like 0% rebound, like negative rebound, and old leaf springs. And this thing's always been lifted way up. The old setup was, it was on 38, or it was on 37s, I believe, and it was on like a lift block in the rear. So it had stock leaf springs with a lift block, and pretty much that like gave a really bad ride, especially with all the stuff being so old. So we also got 2-inch lift leaf springs. So now there's not going to be any janky blocks or anything. It's all full suspension. That's going to give it the total of 6 inches of lift with the body. And then we're going to do 38s. Still haven't decided on tire size, but probably like a 17, maybe a 16. And so now we're doing, I mean, that should give us some more. So overall, it's going to be a pretty big truck. But I'm super excited for this build. We've had it for a few years, and I did drive it around. I drove this thing to school. I drove this thing to a shop class I was in for a while, just kind of how it sat on stock wheels from actually my neighbor's Duramax, Cole, which you'll be seeing him in some other vids. I got a video of his shop. He does some off-road stuff, but yeah, these are stock wheels off like a Duramax. Most of you guys probably noticed them. And this is an 8-lug because it was a heavy-duty truck, a 2500. So it had, actually these ones might, I can't remember if it's either from my dad's truck or from his Duramax, one or the other. But as you can see, like, these are the exact tires I've driven on, like completely bald. And most of my friends will tell you we did burnouts on these tires. As you can see, like, I mean, we got down in this thing with that. It's pretty sketch. But I'm pretty stoked for it to like finally have good suspension. We got new Bilstein 5100 shocks. I'll show you those. We're kind of, well, actually they're not, as you can see, it's not installed yet. I'll show you over here. We have one semi bolted up. I will be doing a video fully installing all this stuff, but this Bilstein's kind of just sitting here. So Bilstein 5100. You can see the starters pulled off. This is one of the leaf springs sitting there. Nothing's tightened or bolted up. We just kind of were mocking stuff up. Did get a new brake line made. My dad got this made and put that on because it's lifted more now, so you can't overstretch the brake line. Stuff like that. So yeah, the next video, which is going to be on like a weekend. So probably not this weekend. Going to be doing finishing the suspension completely, tightening everything up, all the leaves and all that, putting the shocks on. And then we did a pitman arm, which is longer as well. You have to elongate a lot of the stuff because you're getting lifted now, and to keep all the angles right. I'll show you that too. It's right here. So you can see it was increased. Again, I wish I had the stock one, but it was like this. This one curves up to keep the angle of the of all the steering components, you know, more straight, so the thing's not down like this, and that's how you start braking stuff. So yeah, and as you can see, a new brake line on this side as well, so that looks all clean. The leaf springs on this side as well. Also, it's got stock U-bolts on it right now, and that's the reason why we haven't like finished the install of the leaf springs, because the U-bolts are like trashed because they're old. So there's no point to replace all the everything and leave like the stock bolts. So we're like, okay, we got to get some U-bolts. So you can see stock U-bolts. So we're going to get some new ones of those with a new bracket. The shock's on this side. You can see kind of just, it's got an upgraded BMM pan on it, which was done back in the day. So yeah, it's a long bed. What's cool about this project is like, this thing was this was like their farm truck back in the day before that was even a thing, because this was super long time ago when they were like kids. And they said that they would get this truck. It was on huge tires. It was lifted up, and they would go around, and they had a 67 Camaro that at the time that they used as like a drag. It was all his brothers. They had like a race team. So they had a 67 Camaro, and they had guys that built them some parts and all that. And so this was their like street car, because that thing was a full drag car, tubed, caged, big block motor, nitrous, so they couldn't take it on the street. So they built this thing for their little like street race car. And they said they beat Camaros, they beat Mustangs, they beat Corvettes, all this stuff in this thing. Like, tell me that is not like an old version of farm truck, like legitimate back in the day. You can see. Imagine this thing pulling up on you on 38s, smoking you, you know, in whatever car you got. He said it was the coolest thing ever. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this project. Like I said, it's got a lot more to come. We're doing a lot of things to it. This is me kind of just more showcasing it because I haven't got to show you guys the project at all yet. And then also, I really wanted to show this paint. This is the thing I was really excited about. Like I said, looks really nice. I'm gonna hop in the back, kind of show you this thing. But it's nice. Whole cab was redone. Which, like I said, a lot of people know that the cab is where these things like to rust. So all the rust was fixed, everything. But like I said, the rest of it, we're leaving as is. You can see like just little patina and rust spots and nothing major though, because we wanted to fix all the major rust spots so that way there was no problems later down the road. We don't want them to kind of grow into bigger problems. So you can see our failed window install, but it's kind of there, but the seal was completely torn out, so that was bad. And the only other thing that we've done to this project since we got it, which I'll show you, my dad put some new cab mounts in it, so I'll show you those right now. So you can see all fresh cab mounts. I don't really want to go around the whole truck to show you, but all fresh ones. As you know, that's like no super easy job. It's more time consuming, but they were all shot, so it definitely needed that. I'm trying to think of anything else. It does have a pretty cool, what kind of goes along with what I was telling you with the, what kind of goes along with what I was telling you with where they used to have like a race team, and a lot of their guys did a lot of custom work for that car. They had this really cool radiator shroud, fan shroud made, all fabbed, custom. So it's pretty, just a lot of cool like old school stuff on this truck. And it's cool because a lot of the performance upgrades have been on the truck for like since the old times. So it's just cool to see this like time capsule of performance. And this thing, it scoots, and it's like, this thing was built like 30 years ago. So it's pretty cool. Probably even more than that actually. No, about 30 years ago. So it's pretty cool. It's got a Holley carburetor on it. Edelbrock intake manifold. You can see how just huge everything is. Gets a big block Chevy. And you can see we got a lot of cleaning up of stuff to do in here. We're gonna delete all the AC stuff. It's got all these A&N fittings on it, which is cool. Got to get some radiator mounts made because these ones are broken. My homie Cole next door says that he might be able to fab us up some of those. But yeah, that's the project, boys and girls. The biggest thing that we got coming, like I said, it's been on these wheels far too long. I mean, these are like 285s. They just look so, look at this. I mean, that's how the truck's pretty much going to sit, but look at them. So definitely need those wheels and tires coming soon. I'll be able to do some videos of us doing the dyno mat and all that stuff. So should be really cool. I'm super excited for this project. And yeah, we're going to be getting after it. So coming up in like the next few weeks, you're going to be seeing us getting the suspension done. Wheels and tires are going to be ordered, and it's going to be game on. Also to show you, we got to take one of the headers off and do the brake line, but old school, all custom fab, long tube headers. So that's pretty cool. Besides the wheels and tires that we still like have to order, is chromoly axles for the front, because the rear has an LSD, and which is fine for what we're doing. The front, only one of the wheels locks up. So with the big tires and all that stress that it's going to get extra, that other side axle is most likely going to crack. So we also need to get a locker for the front. So chromoly axles, a locker for the front, and like, come on, there's nothing that beats the look of like an old Chevy tailgate, and just this whole thing. It's just gonna be so cool when it's done. So like I said, pretty much it. I just kind of wanted to showcase it, kind of show you what was going on, because no one's really seen this thing, and it's like my favorite project. So very happy for what's to come to this soon. This thing's going to be up and running, hopefully pretty, like I'm hoping in a few months, and we can get out there and do some like off-roading and some trail riding and all that. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, put a thumbs up on the video, tell me how you liked it. Let me know what you think of the Cheyenne build. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people like the old truck stuff too, so I'm happy because I'm right there with you. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.